Hey guys, Cody here, back with another edition of NHL DFS from the car. Last night was a very strange slate. It was huge. It was like a 10-game slate. The matchups were really freaky. They ended up missing the cash by half a point because Jeff Skinner couldn't just get hit by a puck. I mean, nobody saw the Rangers blowing out the Sabres 6-2. Hutton was one of the most owned goalies on the site that I play on. What are you going to do? We had our share of St. Louis, and we had some Nashville, just not the right guys. So, moving on to today, I've already taken a look at some of the matchups I like, and I'm going to talk about a couple of the teams that I like right off the bat. First, every single night that they play, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be in the crosshairs. They're just a bad defensive team with a lot of high-powered offense, so every night I'm looking at them to score some goals and let some goals in. They play, who the hell is it? San Jose. San Jose played yesterday, put the beat down on somebody. Coming off a back-to-back up in Toronto. Toronto's locker room just got called out by Matthews. This is probably a situation where I play like a 3 or 4 man Toronto stack and I sprinkle in like 2 2s elsewhere. So like probably Matthews, who's on his wing, Johnson, Nylander kind of deal, pay up for that. And then if I want to get some of the San Jose action in there, I'd probably take like, it's tough to take Brent Burns and somebody that is good, but like a LeBlanc or an Evander Kane, maybe an Erik Karlsson. Again, Brent Burns is just, he's so expensive right now, and there's other defensive value on the board, so you don't actually have to pay up that high. Looking at other games, Vegas, that team, I don't know what to make them. Days when they're favored to smash people, they kind of keep the games close. It's still squeaking out wins, but it's like 2-1 in a shootout instead of like 6-1 domination like it's supposed to be. Vegas likes them tonight. Vegas likes Vegas, ironically. They have a pretty good matchup. They should score some goals. I like Vegas value in here. I'm going back to Cody Glass. You know, he sucked last game, but sometimes people have off nights. It's a thing. Nothing you can really predict there. He's on a good power play line. He's playing minutes. He had 15 minutes last game. They just didn't do anything with him. So, I mean, for his price point, probably going to play him. Next, I like William Karlsson from Vegas because he always has kind of like a safe floor for me. I mean, I would love to say Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty always perform when I play them, but the reality is they just don't. So they're in good spots, both of them playable, but if you're playing a high, heavy Toronto stack and you're trying to get some San Jose in there, it's going to be tough to squeeze Vegas. More of a contrarian look, you might be able to fade Toronto or San Jose and just run a Vegas-Washington Capitals stack and call it a night. From Vegas, on the D side of things, I like McNabb and I like Shea Theodore. They're both pretty cheap, allow you to open up a lot of different places, to afford that Toronto stack or getting Brent Burns. Again, I don't think you need Brent Burns tonight. I think he's too expensive, but he's one of those players that you can play every night, matchup proof. Doesn't matter how many games in a row they have. They could be playing 7 games in a row. He's still going to be good. Last but not least, the Washington Capitals play tonight. They're playing again. They played last night. They're coming off a back-to-back, but they're a good team. And they play a team who's not that great. So when you're good at hockey and you're playing teams that aren't that great, it's safe to say you can play them. I don't know who at center I like more. I like both Kuznetsov and I like Backstrom. I like Vrana. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he's been super consistent. He's got some goals this year. He's actually been playing really well when you watch the games. Obviously, Ovechkin and Karlsson are on the dock. You can play either one of them, but you're going to run into some salary issues. So tonight, it's about finding some value. I like Cody Glass, Shea Theodore for value. I like Dmitry Orlov for value, defenseman from Washington. You can maybe squeeze in some. I think the Islanders play again tonight. Probably squeeze in some Islanders for value. Their number one line is super cheap. They're not really putting up crazy numbers, but they're still there. They're still a number one line. They're still getting minutes against, other teams. So, yeah. Tonight, I think power play is probably going to be where I'm targeting. I'm going to go for big-time minutes for cheap players, and minutes equals money. So I'm going to hope that my cheap players make something of their minutes. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll probably go on NHL.com or somewhere like that, Corsica Hockey, but they haven't been updated yet. Natural Stat Trick is one of the best websites for hockey information, but it takes a lot of time to sit there and run lineup combinations, and I just haven't had that amount of time. Hell, I'm making YouTube videos from my car. I can't even edit these things really well yet, so I'm sorry you get what you get, but at least there's something out there. So to recap everything, Vegas, Washington, San Jose, Toronto, maybe Islanders. The Ottawa Senators are at home. I think they play the Islanders, so it's always an interesting predicament because Ottawa, I don't know who they are yet. They let up a lot of shots no matter where they play, but somehow they're winning games, putting 5 goals in. So, you can ride the hot hand. Anthony Duclair has been killing it. Vlad Nemetsnikov been stepping up. He's had a point in the last 3 games. I think Duclair's on goal 5 now. So their depth is waking up. Brady Tkachuk has slowed down, but everyone knew that was going to happen. And yeah, Bobby Ryan's still relevant. Not as good as he was when he was in Anaheim, but he's still there. So that's pretty much it for players. Let's talk a little bit about goalies, and then we'll move on. Right now, I'm avoiding all the goalies in the San Jose-Toronto game. I'm probably taking Braden Holtby or Samsonov. I don't know if there's an S in there. Samovov. Some Russian guy from the Capitals. I think that they're going to probably steamroll tonight. If you want to get nutsy, you could take Varlamov or Grease from New York Islanders, because if they're playing a bad team, they should, in theory, roll. Marc-Andre Fleury, if he plays, is probably the best goalie on the slate, so you can always plug him in if you have the money. It's all based on what you have for money. I know Grease is pretty cheap if he plays, and I know that Anders Nielsen, and even Craig Anderson, they've both been playing pretty good for Ottawa. They just had seen an average, 37 shots a game. 3 of them are bound to go in. It's just, it's hard, with that volume, something's bound to happen. A bad tip, a kick off the skate or something, even if they're playing out of their head. So that's going to do it for me today. I'll have an article up at some point. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more in depth than my one yesterday. One yesterday was a quick hitter, just player pool that I wanted to plug in. Like I said, I played really light yesterday. I didn't really like any of the matchups. It's just one of those cases where I didn't have time to sit down and run line by line through any stat optimizers. Essentially what Natural Stat Trick does is you run lines or players versus each other, and it tells you who shoots the puck more, who gives up more high danger chances per 60 minutes, and all that fun stuff. So you can average it all out, and you can pretty much pick a line that is going to get 4 high danger chances, which means right in the middle of the ice you have 4 high danger chances, likely to score on one of them. So when you have time to sit down and do that, you can pick out goal scorers a lot easier. But fourth quarter at work, what are you going to do? Anyway, that's it from me. I probably will not be back tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday. I might have an article up one of the 2 days. It's just going to be a crazy weekend. I'm going to see my parents. So everybody, have a good one, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.